my God, could you imagine? Yes, of course you can, Mark. I broadcast with you.
This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. It is Tuesday, June 7th today. Belleville, Ontario, Canada. Thanks for hanging out.
Kick off to the, I don't want to say, it's not an annual thing. It's. I thought it was biannual, but the Alzheimer Society book sale.
Might be quad annual, I think, before the pandemic. I'm not sure.
I always thought it was twice a year. But you're right. It is 4 times a year now, and it kicks off today, and it's like the best time of year for you. It's like Christmas. Every time it rolls around, Mark's eyes just light up. It's magical.
Love to support the Alzheimer Society, and I love books, so it's a win-win. And then Wednesday is always the half-price day, win-win-win.
And then Fridays. They're going
to get the money out of me. It's just a question of how many books I get for that amount of money.
I predict you will come away this week with 5.
I predict that you are correct. The over-under is 4.5. I'm going to make a point of buying 6, but giving you 1. That's what I'm going to do.
Is that what you're going to do?
I'm going to give you a book. I'm going to buy you a book.
But you're going to wait until the $10 day, right?
No. No, I'm going tomorrow. I'm going tomorrow.
Okay, which is half price day. I say $10 day because it's $10 a bag.
On Thursday. Whatever's left. Had a little gas there. Whatever's left.
Okay.
The Soda Stream, everybody. This Soda Stream.
Which is good for you. I know. That's, yes.
It's water, but I need the carbonation. Where were we? Right.
And books.
The books. I'm going to bring you a book. Last week it was shoes, which you're wearing today.
Which I am wearing today, which you did not notice. But yes, I am wearing your shoes today.
Can we talk about this incessant need for me to notice everything about you?
Because you notice other things.
I am a very observant person.
I would say are not irrelevant some days. But you seem, you pay attention, and very little gets by you.
Very observant.
So I expect you almost to notice certain things. And that's, honestly, I thought that would be, as soon as I walked in with these shoes today, you'd be on it. You'd be like, hey, you got my shoes on. Because you are very observant. My hair, maybe not. It wasn't so much observing. It was the scent. Because we work in a scent-free workplace, and I don't wear perfume, and I don't wear scents unless my lotion occasionally, I realize. But the shampoo I used today was my son's because I was out of shampoo, and there's a deodorizer in it because boys smell, and it's very strong, and that's all I could smell this morning. So there was a part of me that was a little... I'm like, what's going to happen when I get in the studio? It's going to be so overpowering. His eyes are going to be watering. It's going to like a note's going to have to be sent out reminding everybody again that this is a scent-free zone. I was very aware of it this morning, and you didn't notice it at all.
Right off the top, you asked.
I did.
Right off the top.
Because that's all I could smell. I can't now. It's kind of dulled.
Didn't smell.
My senses have dulled.
Boy smell, wet dog smell? Nope.
Oh, I hate wet dog smell.
I know. But boy smell.
I love my boys.
Of course you do.
But they get stinky and they need to wash.
There's a reason why you don't buy their shampoo and use it. You use...
Well, it's a boy shampoo, yes. Right. I like my flowery shampoo. And this was not flowery. This was a very rugged, manly smell. Masculine smell.
You know, man, we have 5-in-1.
I know, which...
5-in-1.
That's what I said. This was a 3-in-1 too, which I worried would leave my hair dry. It's a shampoo, conditioner, and deodorizer. And then you said you use a 5-1, which blew me away. I had no idea they made 5-in-1.
In top of that, body wash and facial wash. So they add those two. I don't know.
Face wash.
It's like the 5th one.
How can one do all? Quite honestly.
How is it taking this long?
If that's the case, why are there so many friggin' products out there on the shelf?
This is what I'm asking. Men, and I will wait, ready for this, till it goes on sale. $2.99, 5-in-1. That's all this body's getting.
And do you stock up? Do you get like multiple?
Ask
several?
my wife. You know it.
You stockpile it.
You know I do. It's like hair gel. I have 3 lifetimes worth of hair gel at home.
Because when it's on sale, you just fill the cart.
I'm not allowed to buy it anymore. From all of the years that the product sales that P&G would put on for the United Way, I would buy boxes and boxes. I'm sure the best before date is 2015. But it's hair gel. I'm not
How can hair gel go bad?
No, I'm guessing. Like, I don't even know. I'm sure this was made by people who retired 20 years ago.
And you have it in your closet.
And Kath will pull it out to the front of the closet just in case I'm thinking of, I need another hair gel. Yeah, there are 11 over here.
And this is why he also has stacks of books around his home, too.
I will buy 5 and read 3, and I have them around. But I got to go. I have to support them. And I there's a part of me that thinks he'll miss me if I'm not there.
Well, I think it's become a
Bayview Mall.
Expected again.
Tomorrow,
it's
Thursday.
A familiar face. It's like, where's Mark? Mark comes on the Wednesday, so he'll be here. We just got to wait.
Get ready, everybody.
Now, do you donate as well when you go? Will you take any of the books back that you've purchased?
I don't do it that day. You have to set up an appointment, and you can drop books off. But yes, I donate. I never, for example, I never take change. I know what I'm going to give them.
Yeah.
And I buy books, keep the rest. So, and then I'm not saying that to be a philanthropist. I'm saying that because that's a good idea, everybody, and you should do that.
And help out the Alzheimer Society.
Great. And they have very few revenue streams. They had the walk. They have a walk that they do, which is fabulous.
Beautiful day for it.
I think they have a golf tournament. Don't hold me to that. I think they do.
I think you're right.
Maybe the pandemic.
Maybe pre-pandemic they did. But yes.
But no, there's no big galas for it. There's no, so the revenue stream is limited. So, but the book sale is so a unique one to them. It is.
To support them because, yes, as we're seeing our population age, and as you just said, we all do.
We all do.
It's horrible, but it does touch quite a few people.
My wife's mother passed away a couple of years ago from Alzheimer's, and she was diagnosed in 2004 and passed away in 2020. I cannot conceive of... She was diagnosed at the age of then 82 and lived 16 more years with Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Like, you think that, okay, if you're diagnosed at 82, it's lights out in a year and a half. And statistically speaking, I think that would be the case. But she lived another 16 years. And so can I buy a few books? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can you give me change? Yeah.
I can do that.
But don't think that isn't the excuse when I come home with a bag of books. Mm-hmm. Because you bought more books? Alzheimer's Society. I did it for your mom.
Because, and it's funny you say her mom, it's not just the patients quite often. And I remember Laura Hare when she was with the Alzheimer's Society saying that. She said, yes, they of course need care, but it goes towards much more the family and those who are supporting that patient now. It's the family and the friends around them because they too now have to deal with this. They too are affected by this.
Yeah.
It's horrible. It's awful.
Spooky story. Ready for the spooky story?
All right, go.
Back of the neck hairs going up story.
Can't wait.
My father passed away in May of 2014. And I went out and I played golf later on that summer up here at Bay of Quinte Country Club. And I was matched up with a fellow a little bit older than myself.
Okay.
Which is hard to do because I'm old. And
oh my gosh.
My father's name was Ken, and the gentleman introduced himself. And I was thinking a lot of my dad because it was that summer. And this gentleman's name was Ken.
Oh, wow.
And I laughed in my head and I said, of course it is, Dad. Of course I'm playing with a guy I'd never met named Ken. Ken was out golfing. We got talking about, golf and the whole thing. He gets out there. And he told his story. And then I think about my mother-in-law. His wife had Alzheimer's and has slipped past the part where she remembers him. And he would go visit her. I think it was in Tweed. He would go visit her. And then to clear his mind, he'd go play golf in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. But he said, he still loves her and it's still his wife, but I'm going to go. And so I thought, here is my life. My wife's in my life right here in this gentleman. He's got my dad's name, and he's living with somebody with Alzheimer's. And I thought it was just almost, not like the angel came to visit, but it was like, there it is right there. And at this point, Mom was still alive and in care. But it was just so weird. And I thought, to be a child of a parent, but to be a spouse.
Yeah.
And to watch them go through it and and as you pointed out, the spouse going through it. Mm-hmm. So I said to him, I gave my number. Anytime you want to play golf, you call me. Mm-hmm. You shouldn't have to golf alone or worry if you're having a bad day. I won't talk. It's possible. I've never done it, but
I'll try.
Like if you just need somebody to golf who knows your story, and he never did. But I did see him again another time and asked how he was doing. But I wish he had. And I hope he's okay. Hope, whatever situation. But it's one of those things that sticks in your head. And if you are volunteer or somebody with Alzheimer's, many more stories like that. It's devastating. So come on, go buy some books.
Help them out. Support them.
Leave some donations. Speaking of books.
Yes.
Judi Gilbert on the show this morning.
Yes, Judi Gilbert.
I met Judi, I'm pretty sure the first time when she was with the Belleville General Hospital Foundation, and then she left that nice post to go help even more when she took over the United Way. Mm-hmm. And she did that for, a lot of years. 7 or 8 years. Yeah. And then she went back. Well, I'll let her tell the story, but she is wonderfully connected in town and a tremendous motivator. And she got the idea when she went back into her private practice that she was going to write a book about everything going on. And so she has a book launch going on this weekend. So we gave her a call.
No, Mark's been talking you up these last few days and about your book launch and everything going on this weekend.
When last we heard of Judi Gilbert publicly, she was raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for the United Way. You might remember her from her work with the Belleville General Hospital Foundation and on and on and on. Then you went to the private sector. But here you come with an amazing book and a book launch this weekend. What have you been up to?
Yeah, well, when I left United Way 5 years ago, I resurrected my consulting business. So I've been working with many different organizations in a lot of different capacities in terms of business development and strategic planning and facilitation and those types of things. And I became a leadership coach as well. But through all of that, I stayed connected to my, to sport and sort of really what resonated with me around sport and business. And there's a big connection between the two. And so I had been giving it a lot of thought in terms of wanting to write and to write a book. And so I thought, well, what better way than to really write about what I'm passionate about, and that's really about sport and building capability in people and organizations.
We often hear about when professional athletes leave the dressing room and start to invest their money, and sometimes it goes bad, and that transition into sort of everyday life is poor. How much of this have you seen firsthand that you've been able to help that prompted you to write the book in the first place?
Well, I think really what prompted me, there were a number of things. First of all, I think for a lot of amateur athletes, the chances of anybody really being successful at a professional level are very low. And so a lot of the folks that I interviewed for my book, the majority of them were amateur athletes. And I have a couple of Olympians in the book, varsity athletes, Ontario hockey players, that type of thing. And so I think as a former athlete, I certainly identified with being an athlete, and more so with being a hockey player. And I even knew there wasn't a career after university for me, but that's who I was. And so that transition can be very difficult for people. And I think it's really important for kids to start identifying their transferable skills and thinking about their personal brands and their reputations long before they leave the game.
This is Judi Gilbert. She's got a book launch going on. We'll talk more about that and who's going to be there this weekend.
The name of the book, The Next Shift, a guide to identify your core skills and successfully transition from sports. As you mentioned, the book launch, it's this weekend. Where is it taking place, Judi?
It's at Capers Restaurant, downtown Belleville, and it's from 2 to 5 p.m., and it's open to anyone who might want to stop by and meet some of the athletes that are going to be there, or to chat with myself. I know I have a number of family and friends and business colleagues who have said that they're going to attend, and it's a celebration, and it's just a time to reconnect with people and to celebrate the completion of this book and to reacquaint. And so that's what I'm looking forward to.
And the final thought then, even if I were not to be a professional or certainly an amateur athlete, there are so many transferable skills from moving from one sector to another. Are there a lot of general lessons in the book that we can all take away?
Oh, absolutely, Mark. And I think that it's really important that even if somebody isn't an athlete, some people are parents, teachers, coaches, mentors, and that this book is intended for all of those people as well as athletes. And I think that it will resonate with people even outside of sport. And you're right, there's our skills are our skills, and whether we hone them in sports or in a business or any type of work, we can always take those skills onto our next shift.
Along with yourself and your own personal experiences, who are some of the other athletes that will be there to talk with people?
Well, it's great because Andrea Blackwell, she's a former basketball Olympian, and Andrea will be there. And I'm very fortunate that Bobby and Dennis Hall will also be there. And they've been just a wonderful support to me over the years. And they were so enthusiastic about me writing this book. And I did interview them for the book. And so they're both going to be on hand as well. And it will be kind of neat for them to sign my book instead of them signing their own book.
Yes. And I can only imagine what Dennis has to say.
Yes, he's a pretty funny guy, and but as I said, they're near and dear to me, and I'm just so so grateful that they're going to be there, and there's other members of my family that will be there as well, coming from out of town. So I'm very fortunate to have the support of so many people in the community and my family as well.
The Next Shift.
Judi Gilbert joining us this morning. Her book launch, The Next Shift, a guide to identify your core skills and successfully transition from sports, launches this Saturday. Go down to Capers, meet her, get the book signed in person, and hear all the wonderful stories. Thanks so much, Judi, for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and I've always appreciated 95.5 support over the years, and it's a relationship that just continues, so I'm very grateful for that as well. Thank you.
Oh, really? I meant to edit the part about how much she likes us at the end of I meant to edit that part out, because that seemed way too self-serving.
But what a great topic for a book. And I said this to you after we talked to her, and I'm glad she said it's not just about having a sports background or being involved in sports or being an athlete yourself and transitioning. This can relate to so many things because quite often we take different paths in our life, career changes, geographical changes. How do we take what we had there and bring it here? And it's so great to see the dots being connected and doing it in such a way and realizing that what I learned here, I can use now that I'm moving into here. So it's very interesting to me. It's a great topic.
And
very important.
Knowing what Judi does, my guess too is when she talked about, parents and coaches, my guess is for example, here on radio, and I mean, I've been doing it 35 years. I don't consider myself a mentor, certainly not to you. But I did teach for a while. No, but my point is, I suppose it's like she's going to say, take the experience that you have and you can motivate and mentor other people.
Certainly.
Even though you're not a professional teacher or a professional life coach. I'm sure when I read the book, it's like, here's how you can pass your skills on to other people that makes their life better, their careers better, without even realizing you're doing it.
Well, as parents, that's what we strive to do,
coaches,
right?
Yeah.
So as a coworker, why not? And you might not like the title mentor, but certainly I've picked up things from you, and I'd like to think that some of my life experience has bled over into wrong word. My life experience has kind of influenced you in some way, maybe not in big ways, but I think we do that as human beings anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So why not focus in more on that and realize that we can do that and that we should do that.
So go see Judi and Bobby and Dennis Hall and the Olympian and all those other people are going to be at Caper Saturday afternoon, 2 until 5. So that's pretty cool. So I'm not going to go to the book sale today. We have friends coming in from out of town.
That's what you were saying. Yes, a busy day today.
In the rain. Barbecue in the
you
rain
will,
today.
because we have a weather statement in effect today for rain.
And I'll carry on like I'm doing all of the dinner because I'm flipping the chicken.
Because you're barbecuing?
Yeah, flipping the chicken. Meanwhile, everything else is being done inside.
Everything's done when you come in with the platter of meat.
That I flipped a handful of times at various spots throughout the afternoon.
You know what? We each have our roles and we each have our part to play. It's still a very important part, Mark.
Coming up tomorrow, it is going to be the favored iPod Shuffle on Galaxy of Games in honor of Harry Styles. So it's a Harry Styles One Direction. One's on mine, one's on Charity, one's on both. We'll play that at 7:15. And then Galaxy of Games, the Throwback Thursday tomorrow.
Yes.
Which I'm looking forward to because
we made our...
we do well with the historical ones. We're going back to June, but we won't tell you which year. Top 2 songs, June of that year. We're not going to tell you which
Our
one.
webmaster, though, we made her feel old.
Yeah,
With
right.
our songs.
You sent the songs
I feel
along.
old every week. But
Welcome to my world, everybody.
This week she sent that back to me, saying it made her feel old, her selections.
So I'll have that coming up tomorrow morning and lots more. Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast here, wherever you get your favorite podcasts, from Spotify to Google Podcasts and Apple Podcasts here out of Belleville, Ontario. Join us tomorrow morning at 95.5 Hits FM. Have a great Tuesday.